Hi everybody, welcome back to another Wild Side Wednesday. Today we will be talking about rays. I'll be discussing a little bit about manta rays and spotted eagle rays. Rays have all 5 senses just like us humans, but they have 2 extras along with the sharks. That is the Ampullae of Lorenzini as well as the lateral line. The lateral line helps them detect motion or vibrations, and the Ampullae of Lorenzini helps them detect magnetic fields. It can be used for navigation, different things like that, guys. To start off, we will be talking about our manta rays. There are actually 2 different species. We have the reef manta as well as the giant oceanic manta ray. Here in Hawaii, we do see both. We do, here on Oahu, see the reef mantas a little more frequently. Now, I'm going to give you some measurements and weights for the giant oceanic manta ray. They weigh up to about 5,300 pounds, and they can reach lengths of about 29 feet from one tip of a wing to the other tip of a wing. Both the oceanic and the reef manta can reach speeds of 24 kilometers per hour when trying to escape. The oceanic manta has been recorded of diving to depths of 560 meters. Now, when it comes to the life cycle and just the lifespan of these manta rays, they can live anywhere from about 40 to 50 years. When they hit about 10 years old is when they are hitting sexual maturity. These manta rays will give birth about every 2 to 5 years to only 1 pup at a time. And their gestation period can be up to about 1 year. At this time, I'm going to do a little bit of their anatomy. And I have a little guy here to help me. I have a little manta ray with me. First, we're going to talk about the cephalic lobes. These little structures right here at the front, those little lobes are at the front of its mouth, and they actually help direct water and help the food come into their mouths. And then next we have the pectoral fins right here on the side. Those we also call wings, and those just gently glide up and down to help these guys move through the water, sometimes even jump out of the water. And we do actually have a little dorsal fin up at the top, right there. Sometimes we'll see that little dorsal fin when we are cruising through and we have to get an extra look. Are we finding a ray today, or is it a shark, or is it something else? And finally, we do have a nice little tail. Now, these manta rays do not have spines on their tails. And finally, on the bottom, shows a little bit of their gill slits. So that is another way that helps them filter things out, guys. And one of my favorite parts about manta rays is their coloration. If you look at the top of their body, they're nice and dark, and they have like little white patches along the top. And then if you were to flip them over, they will have little dark spots on their white bellies. This one has 2 little white dot or black dots right down here. Those black spots are unique to each individual manta ray. So through photo identification, we are able to track them and identify them. The next topic I'm going to discuss about manta rays is their diet. Usually when somebody hears ray, they probably think shrimp or crabs or something in that little area. But these big guys are actually filter feeders. So they're gonna actually eat a large consumption of zooplankton. So a lot of times you might see them cruising along the top of the water using those cephalic lobes to push the water in to get their food. And also when they are trying to get their food, sometimes they will be doing somersaults or barrel rolls through the water. When we see that behavior, it kind of looks like they're dancing in the water. It's really awesome. They'll be spinning around down there and it's just super calm. Nothing really fast about it by any means. As far as here in the Hawaiian Islands, we do see them sometimes in Oahu. It's an extra special treat when we do see them. However, Big Island has a larger population of manta rays, and then around Maui they get a larger viewing of them as well. So we had a question from our audience, and it was, do the rays hang out here year-round, or is there a specific season? For the most part, rays are here all the time, but manta rays do actually have a short migration period, and they could be traveling to colder waters. It could be because of a food source. The other thing is that it could have to do with their mating. So there's kind of two answers to that. In some areas you might see them year-round, but in other locations there is a short little period that they are not here. All right, our next topic is going to be the spotted eagle ray. If you look at the body, they're going to be a dark blue or blackish body with white spots all over them. Now they are a bit smaller than our manta rays. These guys, their wingspan from tip to tip of those pectoral fins is only going to be about 6 feet. And the maximum recorded weight for one of these spotted eagle rays is 230 kilograms. Now when it comes to the anatomy of our spotted eagle rays, they have a disc-like body, and then they do have a snout that's very shovel-like. They'll actually use that snout to dig through the sand and sift up the food that they're wanting that could be buried under there. If you look at their bodies, they do not have a dorsal fin like our manta rays do. They do have those pectoral fins, and if you look at their tail, it's going to be a bit longer, and there will actually be a little spine at the end of it. That little spine will hurt if you touch it. When it comes to the diet of these spotted eagle rays, they can eat shrimp, they can eat crabs, whelks, maybe an octopus. It's a very large variety for these guys. It's not just focusing on zooplankton like our manta rays. They actually do have jaws that have some little teeth in there. They will use that jaw to crunch up their food and spit out the shell. Now when it comes to the life cycle of the spotted eagle ray, they also go through the phase of ovovivipary like the manta rays. So they will give birth to a live pup. In this case, they will actually have anywhere from 1 to 4 pups at a time. The spotted eagle ray will reach sexual maturity between the ages of 4 to 6. Behaviors you might see, they will also leap up out of the water. The spotted eagle rays have actually been seen leaping up out of the water and giving birth that way. So you'll see one of the pups flying through the air as well. They'll usually either swim close to the surface or down on the bottom against that sand. And you'll usually just find these guys mainly against the shore or in the reef areas. Now when it comes to threats of these rays, some natural predators are sharks and in some regions killer whales. But when it comes to other threats to them, commercial fishing is a high one. Manta rays are sought after for their meat as well as to be used for medicinal purposes. We see that in different Asian markets, but both the manta rays and spotted eagle rays, they are also facing bycatch. Bycatch, as you've heard many times from us, is a huge issue when it comes to a lot of the marine species. Both the giant oceanic manta and the reef manta are considered vulnerable to the IUCN Red List. The reef manta has been recorded as decreasing. Thank you so much for coming out for Wild Side Wednesdays. I hope you enjoyed this little clip today. Please be on the lookout for our next video upcoming. And please be sure to share this with all your friends. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you guys. Have a great day.